www.radiokman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra, keeping you informed.
Good evening and welcome to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. And tonight we will be chatting with the Tennis Federation Cayman Islands national players and president. So I'll have them introduce themselves. We're going to start right here to my right.
Elaine Anderson, President, Tennis Federation.
Awesome.
I'm Abby Anderson and I'm a player.
Okay.
I'm Lauren Fullerton and I'm also a player.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. And they will be heading off to the Island Games later this month. Should be very exciting. Where is it taking place this year?
So tennis is a satellite games. So it's in the Isle of Man. And it's a couple of weeks earlier than the main games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isle of Man is nice.
Yeah. So we're excited. We've got a team of 9 going.
Awesome. Sounds good. And then later on, of course, we'll transition to beach volleyball. Of course, Cayman Volleyball's technical director, Coach Trevor Thorold, will be here, along with national players Luna Ebanks and Deidre Tulloch. It's going to be an exciting show because they're also preparing for international competition. Kazova Under 23 and Norseka Senior Championships are around the corner. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. During the last Lionistic year, they successfully carried out community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, site screenings, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community food pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service during the 2025 Lionistic year and for many more years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman. Where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
The Buzz. Each and every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7:30 a.m. Brought to you by
Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services.
And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Alrighty, welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra, and we're here with Elaine Anderson, Abby Anderson, and Lauren Fullerton from the Tennis Federation Cayman Islands, and we're going to talk some island games and other stuff as well. But island games are this year. You said for tennis, it's in a different location. It's going to be in the Isle of Man, and it's earlier than the regular island games.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what time of
22nd to the 28th of June.
22nd to the 28th.
Yeah.
Of June.
So I believe any time that a sport is not in the main roster and they do a satellite games, they have to do it at a different time than the main games.
Yes.
So we're a little earlier than the rest of the sports.
Okay. So everyone can get full attention.
Yes.
Right. Awesome. Okay. So ladies, how are you?
Good.
It's good to have you back. No strangers to Sports Extra, right? You've been here before.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? You can't remember? Then that's a no. Okay, so how's preparation been coming along for these big games?
Good. We have training twice a week
with
the full team.
Mm-hmm.
And then we each train like on our own times.
All right. What's the full team like?
Good. We all are good together, and we're playing like doubles.
Okay.
So we have like a team event as well.
Okay. Nice. Are you all partners?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
okay. Awesome, awesome. So how does it feel to represent Cayman at the Island Games? Again, right? Again.
are. We both have.
We
Yeah.
both have.
Yes.
How does that feel?
Good.
To represent the islands again?
Yes.
Yeah. Bronze medal? Was it the two of you that got bronze last time?
No.
I had it with mixed doubles.
Mixed doubles. Okay.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was good. Our first match we played pretty well, and then we came against tougher opponents. But it was a good result, and I'm playing with him again this year, so our expectations are high.
Okay. So what sort of lessons did you take from that tournament that you're going to bring with you now to this one, you think?
To be confident, because I know we can do it.
Yeah.
And like don't give up in our matches.
Last Island Games was
Guernsey, yes.
Guernsey?
2023.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right.
Yeah, so Abby went to Guernsey and Lauren was in Gibraltar in 2019.
Okay, awesome. So how do you and your partners complement each other?
Well, my partner is left-handed.
Okay.
So that I think helps, especially on the serve.
Yeah, I would think.
It really messes everybody up. And then
Lefties can do that.
yeah, and then Abby for doubles, she's got a great serve and good volley, so that definitely helps.
Does anyone use both hands by chance? Ambidextrous?
There are players that are
Yeah.
ambidextrous. It's kind of
Not
rare.
on our team though.
Not on the team though. Yeah.
No? Okay.
We definitely have them here if they
Yeah.
were if we had an ambidextrous player, but yeah, we've got a couple lefties.
My doubles mixed doubles partner is also lefty.
Okay.
Don't know
All
what
right.
it is with the guys, but yeah, we've got a couple lefties.
Okay, so is it Ricardo? Who's with Ricardo for the mix?
Me.
You are with.
Yes.
So he's a lefty.
Yes.
Okay, and that compliments you well, you think?
Yeah, he's good at volleys. Like he has good touch. So
Yeah.
when I serve, he puts away at the net.
Okay, awesome. So what sort of strategies have you all both been working on for this summer's competition?
For doubles, like I said,
Or your singles as well.
For doubles, it's really just like big serve and then good volleys. Singles, I play a lot of singles at school, so just keep doing what I'm doing.
What are volleys? When I hear
Like-
volley, I think volleyball. So you have to help me. Show the camera.
It's like you
Just
take it out of the
like
net-
this.
Out of the air.
out of the
Out of
air,
the air.
so it doesn't bounce.
Okay.
So like when you're playing doubles, the person is at the baseline serving, and then the other person is by the net, so they can take it out of the air.
Okay, awesome. And Abby, how was your experience reaching the semifinals, the under 18 ITF tournament?
It was good. We reached semifinals in doubles. It was good competition, and the girls we lost to made it to finals, obviously because they beat us. But overall, it was high level.
But they may have beaten you, but were they your toughest opponent, you think? Because sometimes sometimes the team that wins is not your toughest opponent. You just had a bad game.
They were mentally.
Yeah.
They were strong mentally, and they got a bit in our heads. So I would say yes, they were.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Sounds good. And Lauren, how has your time competing at the collegiate level shaped your approach to the game, you think?
I think being at college tennis, we talk about mental and how it's so mental. And I had this one coach, and he was just always honest about being super physical and staying with the game. And I think that really grew my mindset in the fact of you have to be there mentally, because sometimes you can check out, and it's very important.
And speaking of that, how do you prepare mentally for these types of challenges?
Good night's sleep helps for sure.
I'm sure. The people underestimate sleep, but yeah,
definitely sleep, and I think visualization. I think some people don't.
Very
do
key.
that,
We were talking about that. We actually were talking about that last week, Tuesday, and I think it's with volleyball and how they mentally prepare and visualize. Basketball as well.
Yeah, super important on these like point type sports.
Right.
You know, where it's a finite point and then you have to move on to the next one to be able to check yourself, visualize the next point.
Yes.
So yeah, I think especially these two, as they've grown up through junior programs and then going away, has definitely helped both of them in their games.
Okay, so both of you are in college?
No.
I'm in high school.
You're still in high school, and just you are?
Yeah.
All right. And where are you going to school?
I went to St. Thomas University. I just graduated in May.
Oh.
This May.
Okay, so you graduate. Oh,
Yeah, I'm done.
You're a senior. Yeah. Okay, all right, sounds good. So what's that experience been like for you?
I think overall, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was my coach got fired, so there was a
it's
change.
A huge transition, a huge difference, yeah.
The coach makes a big difference.
Okay.
So that was like a little hiccup.
Yes.
But overall, the team was great. The team atmosphere was great.
How did you handle that with the difference in coaches?
Not bad, because it was only my first semester, so
Okay.
it wasn't like I was attached to him.
Okay.
But definitely doesn't help not having a coach for a semester.
Right.
So
you did not have a coach?
We didn't have a coach,
Oh,
no, for one semester.
Yeah, that must have been rough.
Our GA was pretty good, though,
Okay.
so he knew what he was doing.
Okay. Awesome. What's been some of your highlights of your college career?
I don't know if you're familiar with the college format, but you have to win 4 points.
For tennis, no, I'm not.
Okay. Well, you have to win 4 points. So one of the points comes from doubles, and then you play 6 singles. And so you have to win 3 of those singles.
Right.
And so some of my highlights are clinching those matches. Like I was the match that won to win the overall.
Oh, you go, girl. Very nice. And what about you, Ms. Elaine? What does it mean for Cayman tennis to represent the Island Games again this year?
Yeah, it's huge. We went through, I grew up in Cayman, playing tennis, learning to play tennis here, and then going away as well. And Cayman's always been super strong. And then we went through a period of, I say, a dry spell. So to get back to the international competition and represent, like, people know Cayman.
Yes.
Like, we're like a strong brand.
Definitely.
Generally with sport, and especially, especially in the Caribbean for tennis. Like, we have one of the best tennis clubs in the Caribbean. 9 courts with more coming, and that's, as a federation, that's just one of the clubs that is on the island. There's also the Ritz Club, the Cayman Tennis Academy, and then other. I can't even remember the per capita that we have of tennis courts is ridiculous.
Yes,
in a good way.
Yeah.
So to get back to international competition and represent well, Island Games is a nice competition because the size is, I think I heard it quoted as same number of athletes as the Winter Olympics.
Right.
But yet
it's like a mini Olympics.
Yeah, and but you're still competing at a high level, especially in tennis, because the islands have the populations to really get behind their teams. And, winning a medal 2 years ago was kind of back to what it had been 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
And not to jinx it, but this is a strong team. Like, we've got 2 sets of really good mixed doubles.
Stronger than the year before?
I
Probably.
would say it's like
about the same.
Equal.
But with different dynamics, which also kind of changes things. And because it's a satellite games, and we're taking a relatively strong team, we have high aspirations because there are some countries that are not, like Guernsey is not going to be there for tennis.
Is that a good thing?
Yes. They won the women's singles last year and the team event. So
they beat us in second round of team event.
They had a strong team event. And so these two are playing, there's a men's team event and a women's team event, and they're both playing the women's team event.
Okay.
And then our 2 guys, Ricardo, that we spoke about before, and another player, Franco, again, strong.
Yes.
So yeah, with Guernsey not there,
you have a chance.
We're pretty excited.
Yeah. I understand. I remember when we went for basketball, we would always pray Rhodes would never show up. They were always so strong. Rhodes in the Island Games, that is. That they're always a very strong contender. So is Guernsey, actually.
In basketball? Okay.
So is Guernsey. Yeah, they're men. And then what happened in the very first couple of years when I went, it was they played more with their local players. But then when they realized that they can get their international players involved, and they were from Guernsey. So it's not that they were not from Guernsey. It's just that they were playing professionally.
Oh, okay.
So the more athletes they got out, that was better. That strengthened their team. So that's when they became more of a challenge.
Well, I think in the next going forward, this team is half Caymanian, half residents.
Okay.
Because Island Games, you can be resident and and still represent. And one of the aims for the federation is, in time, not to alienate the residents, but to have a full team of all Caymanians.
Yes.
So as you're saying, these two have grown up here, born here, grown up here, learned to play tennis here. Actually, one of the competitors and coaches from Jersey used to teach here. So we'll see him again there.
What's his name?
Adam.
Okay.
He used to teach at the Cayman Islands Tennis Club. So we saw him in Guernsey. He had coached a couple of like Abby and Callum and Lauren. So
he's moving around the island.
Yeah. We take him back.
Yeah.
But it's Island Games is also a good stepping stone to get Cayman back onto Billie Jean King Cup, which is a women's international competition, and Fed Cup, which is the men's.
Okay.
And they're really high level. You get, as you were talking about, professionals in it. So and we got Junior Pan Am Games as well to hopefully look forward to. We're still here on if we've got qualifications for that.
Awesome.
But it's the international scene is just heating up for Cayman.
How do you guys go about selecting your players? So how were the 9 players selected for this squad?
So throughout the year, there's the local tournaments that happen here. We are trying to build out our database of players because I'm sure, as you know, like there's so like these girls, like they've gone away to school and high school and university, and we have Caymanians away playing, which is where they're getting their best competition as well. So throughout those tournaments, coaches are looking at the results of that. Plus, also we had open trials and invited, and again, because it's not just limited to Caymanians for Island Games.
Right.
There a couple of weeks of open trials where anybody could come that had been resident for the requisite amount of time and play in front of coaches as well. So that was back in like January, February time.
Okay.
So a mixture of both those things. The high level juniors that are playing internationally really have the highest rankings. So we're trying to make sure as a federation that we make it fair enough with those rankings nationally and internationally. So that is a struggle for tennis to make sure that whatever protocol you put in place is fair across the board at the different levels, which is also why it's important to be able to host the under 18 ITFs once a year, maybe twice a year if we can get to that.
Okay.
So we had over 60 kids here in boys and girls.
This was when? This was
last week.
Okay.
So at the Cayman Islands Tennis Club in South Sound.
See, you guys left me out. I did not know.
Yeah.
I would have been down there.
It caught up very quickly to us. And then suddenly we had a full guys draw with qualification happening and a fairly full girls draw, 28 players, I think it was.
How did we do?
So Abby got to, with her partner, who was not Caymanian, to semis, and third round in singles. And we had another girl also representing Cayman, Ava, and then 2 boys. The boys' draw was really tough as well. Not that the girls wasn't; it was very tough. But the two boys, unfortunately, were also at the time of exams.
Yeah.
So, building on that, hopefully we can have more Caymanians in that tournament in years to come.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
That'll be really nice. What about you ladies? How does training in Cayman compare to your experiences at IMG Academy and St. Thomas? Who's in St. Thomas? You are?
Me.
You are.
Yeah.
And you're at IMG.
I
was going to ask you with high school, because you said high school and I'm thinking here, but I'm like, no.
It's like a
I know where IMG is.
Yes.
Yeah. That World of Sports take
Yes.
part there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So training there is much more intense, and there's a lot more competition.
Yes.
I think there's like 60 girls in the tennis program at IMG. So there's like 7 groups. And in my group, we all compete against each other. So we're all friends on the day-to-day training. But then once we have matches, we all have to compete against each other. It's great energy when we have training and then when we're playing matches, and we have a lot of competitions where we play like in teams.
Okay.
To get us used to like the college part of it.
Right.
So we have this squad v squad where we all come together and we're put into different teams competing against each other. And that's like the type of thing we don't have here.
Right.
With all the girls playing against each other and cheering on for everyone.
Yeah. And it's such a vast majority of athletes that come from all over the world.
Everywhere.
Come from everywhere. Whereas Cayman is a small community, right? So you're only going to be as good as your next best person that's in the country. So it's good that you get this experience abroad and play. IMG is a very, very good school. Very good school. You like it there?
Yes.
Yeah.
This will be my 4th year coming up.
Awesome.
So.
Awesome. What are some of the challenges and some of the things that you like about IMG?
Well, I went away when I was 14. It wasn't a challenge for me, really.
Okay.
I kind of got used to it very quickly.
So it was a challenge first then, and then it became easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
But a lot of my friends from here had gone away to boarding school as well. But I made friends very quickly, and because it's quite easy going from here to there, making friends in your sport.
Okay.
And the girl I dorm with is also on my team for tennis. So I wouldn't say there was a lot of challenges, but I really like it. It's good.
Awesome. And Elaine mentioned you possibly qualifying for the Pan American Games. How do you feel about that?
Hopefully I do. We don't know yet. But it will be similar to Island Games, kind of, I think.
A little harder.
Yes. But like...
The structure of it all?
Yes.
Okay.
With the different countries and everything.
Yes.
And I play a lot of tournaments with, like, big tournaments in Florida. So it won't be that much of a change as much as the, like, size and how many players are playing in it. So I'm excited if I get in.
Awesome. What's the atmosphere like within the Cayman tennis team itself? How do you guys view each other? What's the team camaraderie like?
Light, energetic. I think a little bit relaxed too. You know, everyone wants to have fun.
Yeah.
We're on
stoke
like the
fire a
island
bit
time.
more. Yeah, they're a bit on island time right now. The next
Yeah.
couple of practices, I think, are going to get
a
taken
little
up
bit more
level.
serious, you know, because
The time
we
is
have to.
is now. Yeah.
But we all know each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we've all played tennis
for a
same
long time
place.
now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like I play with my doubles partner from last year, so we know what each other's weaknesses and strengths are.
Yeah.
And Laura and I have played a lot together, so we all know each other very well.
Okay. And it's something I like to ask all overseas athletes. How do you balance academics and sport?
Well, for me, my training was in the morning,
Okay.
and then most of my classes kind of like ended around 2. So I went to school from like 9 to 2, and I picked my classes that way because by 2:30 my brain's done.
Shut off.
And then you go back to training.
Yeah.
So I think that it was easy for me to kind of manage it that way.
Okay.
But I know other people work differently.
You get in college. When you get to college, you get to choose your own schedule.
Yeah, that helps.
Let's hear from Abby, because I know her situation might be a little different.
So they're very good with making sure we have enough time for school and sports because everyone's there for the same reason.
Right.
So I have training in the morning before school, and then I have school for like 3 to 4 hours.
Nice.
So I only take 5 classes. And then I have training again in the afternoon. We have homework and we have to study for tests and exams. Like it's like the normal school, just less hours since we have training.
Awesome. So what are your aspirations beyond these tournaments that you'll be attending? Do you have any like long-term goals in the sport of tennis?
I want to play D1 college tennis.
Nice.
So I'm looking at schools currently.
What schools are you looking for? You mind sharing?
I've emailed Elon, and
Okay.
I'm going to Texas to play a tournament this weekend at University of North Texas.
Oh, nice.
emailed other schools like Drake, kind of like some in Florida and North Carolina, South Carolina, Boston.
And coming from IMG Academy gives you a good boost.
They have
for
good
D1.
connections.
Yeah, for D1 schools.
Yeah. The head of girls tennis has good connections with a lot of these coaches because they're like around the same age. They know each other quite well.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, what's anything happening before Island Games?
No competition-wise. We just come off I think all the coaches and the administrative staff at the tennis club are taking a breath after the ITF because that was quite intense.
Yeah.
So then, the Island Games. Then we come back from that and
hopefully Pan Am,
and then kick into the junior KPMG sponsor that series, which is a set of 6, which both these two grew up doing. With the under 10s, 12s, 14s, 18s tournament series. So the next one of that is in September. And then the Masters will be in November. But just the regular people training, all levels, cardio, tennis, individual lessons, junior programs across the island. And just the federation is building, and we've had a bit of a change in the board setup. So post Island Games is a really exciting time to then as we build to the not to throw 2025 out the way, but build to the 2027 games. And as I say, get ready for hopefully Fed Cup and Billie Jean King Cup entries.
Awesome. Do we know what 2027 Island Games going to be?
Faroe Islands.
Ooh.
Never been there, so
it's been there before though.
I've never been there.
I didn't.
Have you been there?
No.
Apparently, it's beautiful.
Aren't they all though?
Oh yeah, true.
So last year before was Guernsey.
Yes.
And you guys went. Did you like Guernsey?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yes.
Which other islands have you visited through Island Games?
That's the only one I've been to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've been to Gibraltar.
Yeah,
me
too.
Nice.
Did you go in 2019?
2019.
I was there in 2019.
Really?
I played basketball in 2019. Yeah, that was a good time. Gibraltar was that was my second trip to Gibraltar.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was in Gibraltar several years prior.
Okay.
It's pretty nice there.
Yeah.
It's very good. Yeah. Oh, looking forward to it. Well, ladies, all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, very welcome. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans, your tennis fans in Cayman before we head out?
We appreciate the support.
Yeah, keep looking on the federation and the club Instagrams and Facebooks, and we're going to be. And then Compass TV have said they would cover it.
Okay, nice.
As well, so that would be. We'll keep you updated too.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there. I'll come and check out at least a day or two of the championships. That should be good. Should be really good. Awesome. What about you, Miss Elaine? Anything you'd like to make mention of before you head out?
If anybody is interested in tennis that's not already involved in it, just head over to CITC website, which is Tennis Club's website, the Tennis Federation website, or any of the other local clubs. There's, as I say, the Ritz Club, there's Cayman Tennis Academy, there's the individual pros that also teach.
Yes.
But yeah, just get out. Racket sports. The best way to... I know you're not a racket sport necessarily.
No, but I am an athlete.
You're an athlete, but
I love
sports meant to increase everybody's lifespan.
Yeah.
So
I've heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe I'll come out there and you girls can teach me a thing or two. That should be fun.
Do a clinic.
I've never in my life swung a racket.
Okay, we'll get you out there.
Yeah.
Not even pickleball.
Oh wait, I'm lying. Yeah, I did pickleball. Someone dragged me out there. I was like, I don't want to do pickleball. And then I went and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so much fun. Do you all play it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just played a tournament.
Yes, I just played a tournament here.
What's the difference for you?
It's like faster. Your reaction has to be faster because the court is so much smaller.
Right.
People say it's easier than tennis, but once you get to high level, it gets pretty hard because you have to be ready, like, on your feet.
Yeah.
So much faster.
Have you played?
Yes. Yeah. Not as well as these guys, but yeah, I think my heart's still with tennis.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun.
There's still with tennis.
it better be for the next month.
No, yes.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. We have volleyball coming up next. I can't wait to hear what they have to offer, so stay tuned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The 7 a.m. Sports Report brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Radio Cayman, your #1 community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird.
I just feel like something good is about to happen. I just feel like something good is on its way. Praise the Lord. He can work through those who praise Him. Praise the Lord.
Put your hand in the hand of the man who still the water. Put your hand in the hand of the man who calmed the sea.
Just because I've got Jesus on my mind. Just because I got Jesus on my mind.
Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
All right. Welcome back to Radio Cayman Sports Extra. And we have two national beach volleyball athletes in the studio with us. We have Luna Ebanks and Deidre Tulloch. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. I like that. You're in sync. So how are you all? How was everything?
Pretty good.
Yeah, just busy training.
Yeah.
Is it hot out there?
Yeah, I just came back from training.
Yeah.
Had to
You
rush
look
here.
so fresh.
Yeah, changing in the faucet bathroom.
Awesome. Okay. So there are some big things happening with you ladies the next couple of weeks coming up. I see my producer leaving, so that probably means that Coach Trevor is around the corner.
He's here. I
He
see
is.
him right
Okay.
here.
That's pretty good. So we're going to be joined by the technical director for Cayman Volleyball, Coach Trevor Thorold. But in the meantime, Luna, if you can share with us, what does it mean to you to, be competing in these high-level tournaments alongside having Coach Trevor there with you as well?
It's a very good experience. I mean, I'm still 16 years old, and I'm competing in these. I'm still competing in these under 23 tournaments, and these people are in their 20s, and I'm still in school, and it's you just learn more about them. You see how they play, and you just understand a lot more.
I missed that. You said you're 16?
Yes,
What you
ma'am.
said? Wow. Okay. Wow. Playing amongst under 23s.
Yes, ma'am.
That's going to be huge. It's mental preparation as well, not just physical.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, awesome. And Deidre, of course, you recently participated in the Senior Norseca event. How are you preparing for the Senior World Championship qualifier that's coming up in Mexico, I think September?
Yep, September. Just trying to get as much reps as possible, playing with as much people as possible, and just making sure we play under different conditions. I think it's interesting because you go to a tournament, but you don't know what weather you're going to get when you get there. At the last one that me and JoJo participated in DR, it was pouring rain and they didn't stop.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. And then, of course, when Luna flew up to play with JoJo, it was
windy.
It was windy and hot. So
that's what, when you play outdoor sports, anything is possible.
So it's just working to get more ball control, make sure that we can handle whatever conditions.
But at what point do they call off the games? Just lightning?
We thought.
You played through the.
There was lightning. So we don't really know anymore.
You played through the lightning.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Okay, that's very interesting.
Very interesting.
And dangerous.
It's extremely dangerous. Yes.
Okay, awesome. What's that? What does that do to your mental psyche when it's raining that hard, lightning, thunder, and you're playing against a team that's just as good, if not probably better, in that type of tournament?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it calmed me down.
Yeah.
Just because you kind of just go out there and start to just think, just control what you can control.
Yeah.
We can't control the weather.
And they're playing in the very same circumstances as well,
exactly.
right? So they're going through the same thing you're going through, right?
Yeah.
So it's just about to see who's the most skilled in rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of just breaks down all the other standards that you think you know about the other team.
Awesome. How do these upcoming competitions challenge you differently, you think, than previous tournaments?
Going to the World Championships is always like a different mental battle going into it because, every other country is going to send their best team. It's not like every other NORCECA stops where most countries are just trying to make the stop to get points for the country.
Got you.
It's all those other countries as well are having their national tryouts to get to that tournament.
Yes.
So you know that they're coming. And so you have to prepare, again, like you said, mentally to a different level. And then just making sure that you and your partner are like preparing as well so that you guys can encourage each other, because that's what makes the beach a little hard as well, is that you have one other person, you have no subs, so you guys kind of have to figure it out. Coach isn't allowed to coach us while we're there.
I know.
It's, you taking in as much as you can take in before we get there.
That's so good, though, because it helps you develop on your own as well and make decisions. You may make a few wrong decisions and coach might be holding his head in the bleachers, but
definitely.
But she's like, definitely. But that's all a part of learning and developing, right? Okay, sounds good. I like that. Okay. And Coach, how has Luna and Deidre's welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Actually, I just came from the gym.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure you have. I know you have. How has Luna and Deidre's growth impressed you leading into these major tournaments?
Well, the situation is that when we have the athletes exposed to a higher level of competition, we are always looking for some sort of some nice incremental growth. And the thing about it is that the growth actually takes place right before your eyes during the actual event. Because we just spoke about the weather conditions, and is the team that is able to adapt quickly and adjust and make the necessary mental changes. That and so all those things, they're not growing only technically in the game, they're growing tactically. They're making the adjustments, you're seeing the difference, they're battling the wind. And then you're still trying to battle all these variables, and you still have an opponent on the other side of the court.
Right.
So I'm marveled at the sort of growth that has taken place over the last year, because I just left the beach before going to indoor and then running here.
Right.
And we had like 12 players on the beach, and we actually had the necessary combinations to compete. So before, we didn't have like the players like Deidre, and they were training, and they didn't have that sort of level of competition to push them to the next level until they get to the actual event.
Okay.
Now we are getting that at home. So we are seeing not only a few players improving their technical and tactical skills, we are seeing it throughout the training program. So it's something that what we're looking for as coaches. We love to see that sort of growth taking place, and especially when it's taking place actually before your eyes in the game situation. Of course, some players are a little stubborn and they tend to not listen to what we are trying to tell them. I mean, what I'm trying to tell them. But it's all in all, we have seen some tremendous improvements from all the players.
So Seeing that you can't coach while they're playing, is there like some sort of strategy, like where you sit behind the net and you do your little hand signals? You're like,
no, you're not. You're not allowed to do that. I sometimes take a little chances, but the problem is that I always get caught. I always get caught.
What did they say to you?
They just tell me to they tell me to stop players.
They'll stop the play?
They stop the play and tell the captain to stop.
You don't get points deducted or anything?
No.
Thank God.
We don't get penalized for coaching.
I realize, all the coaches with the various teams, they take their chances to...
of course.
Because it's very difficult not to inform, and that's something that I've recommended, because in tennis, before... In tennis, before the players were not allowed to speak to their coaches, but now they're able to interact with their coaches during play, during the breaks, actually. So I think that is something that they need to...
So you can't interact either with breaks as well?
Nothing, unless it's an underage tournament. Like Luna and they are supposed to take part in the Olympic qualifying tournament in Trinidad from the 28th to the 30th of August. They allow you to speak to the players, but only when there's a switch over.
Okay.
So because of the younger players, I think it's necessary throughout beach volleyball, because you see things information that you like to communicate to your players, but it's impossible. So you try your best, prepare them as best as you can before they enter the arena.
Mm-hmm. What specific skills or strategies, Coach, have you focused on to prepare them for these competitions coming up?
Well, beach volleyball is more of a complex, we say the complex one game, meaning that if the other team is serving, we should be able to pass, set the ball, and kill.
Yes.
Right? And then in complex 2 is more when the game is in transition. So once the team is serving, one team is in complex 1.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is to develop that facet of the game, improve that serve receive to pass to kill. But if the game is there's transition and the game is going back and forth, then we are trying to win those battles also. So once we elevate the level of complex 1 percentages, then we could really focus on defense. So we're trying to create that ideal sort of balance, that sort of optimum performance on the court in both facets of the game in terms of complex 1 and complex 2, but complex 1 is more important.
More complex.
Yes. Yes. So we are working on that, and then you're seeing the type of improvement that we need. And I must compliment the players, because our players in the Caribbean and Cayman Islands, we have to go to work and come from work and try to get to the beach on time, and they have a tight work schedule, and they try to get to the beach, and then
the sun is hot,
and we are battling the elements, and then the light fades or whatever it is. So those are the things that I admire our players, because Luna and they are in school, and they leave school, and they so while they're playing against, if you look at the stops, it's almost designed for professional players. It's one stop after the other.
Right.
So we have to...
So it's very difficult for Cayman to compete all the time. Are there any countries that compete in all?
Of course.
Yes. So those would be the pros.
USA, Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, El Salvador. Those places, they compete in every stop. And I admire that, because meaning that their federation has made a commitment to send players to every stop to elevate their performance. Cuba is one of those teams that benefited from going to all the stops, because their boys are now playing on the VNL, which is the highest level.
Yeah.
And they're doing extremely well and making us proud.
How long are the stops? Is it 3 months, 4?
Well, the stops start in May and ends in November.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a very hectic schedule.
So how far away are we from getting to that level where
far away from doing that? So what we try to do is, and this is why I admire our players a lot. We send them to different stops with different partners that are available. So when we have our training sessions, we try to mix and match and have them play with different people.
Doesn't that the mix and matching, it means that they're not settling with that one partner that they should be settling, whereas those big heads USA, Canada, they're with the same partner all the way. So they're getting used to that partner.
Fortunately for us, communication is very, very effective in Cayman Islands. So the players go out there and they communicate with their new partners. So they communicate with their new partners and they do well. I mean, like, you never know. I mean, like, it's like beach volleyball is almost like a marriage, you know.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah, you communicate on the court.
Those double sports, tennis, like with the double tennis.
So the difficulty is that if you have this one person, you're almost reading their minds and knowing what they're capable of, and you're trying to compensate for their weaknesses, and you're trying to elevate your strengths and stuff like that. But it's very difficult when you're switching partners. So we are trying to get to that level. But it's
what can we, as a community, and our government, or our association, do to accommodate that May to November?
So it's a very first of all, let's deal with we're trying and hoping that we can acquire our own facility so we could actually take our time and develop the skills necessary to function effectively at that particular level.
Gotcha.
But it's critical. I think you need to have, if you have a focus sport, we cannot not have a facility to train and develop the skills that is necessary. It's like having a swimmer without a swimming pool.
So what's your ideal? Because I would think where you all are now is ideal, but because it's beach.
Yeah.
But what is your ideal facility for beach?
Anywhere we could get sand and the courts up, and for us now is lights.
Yeah.
Of course, we can't put lights on the public beach because of the environmental situation with turtles and stuff like that. So that's a critical thing, because we could train later. The players could be well rested after work, after school. They could be able to get that break and do their work. So that's one of the benefits of playing indoor, because you could go and train later on.
Okay. You haven't answered my question yet.
Yeah,
You're coming to it now?
Yeah.
Which question are you talking about?
Yeah, the one with the federation.
Yeah, how could government or the community help? I mean, we look at it as far-fetched, because then you'll be doing this for next 10 years and it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have the same results. We might improve a little, but we could never beat USA and Canada because they're so far ahead.
Yeah.
What do we have to do, or how can we help as a country?
Really starting those programs at an earlier age.
Right.
I think our school curriculum has to encompass a lot of, because the Caribbean is not designed in such a way like the US, where colleges compensate for that level. So you go to college and you're almost a semi-professional player now,
right?
Because of the NLI and stuff like that. So those are things that we have to. It's almost like we are preparing to run a marathon and we got up late. What do we do to catch up quickly?
Yeah.
Right? Do we run faster? Do we try to jump on a bike and cheat a little bit? Whatever is necessary to get our athletes to be more successful. I think one of the things is starting earlier to expose our kids to multifaceted approach to sports.
Yeah.
Everything, like especially at the primary school level. Do not make sport an outlier. Like, put it to the side. Make it part of the primary school curriculum at a higher level. So that's it. And then we have to understand that also that the players bring greater notoriety to the country than just anything, because their successes is like Cayman Islands. Like,
yes, so true.
And one of the pluses from this particular tournament is that the players, I saw Coach Dean alluded to that
last week.
Yeah, that the other teams were complimenting Luna and Day for the quickness of their improvement, but that doesn't happen overnight. There's no magic remedy for that. They are actually working extremely hard in order to accomplish those things.
And it's really good that the other countries saw that. They can actually identify the improvement based on, I guess, seeing you all perform in previous tournaments and
Yeah.
comparing you to what you looked like that time.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty good.
That's really, really. So I don't have to go to my room and stress out as much as I used to, because I really the players know that I really I have never looked at the finals in Nausicaa. I have never looked. I said I'm waiting until Cayman Islands, one of the teams make it to the finals, and then I'll be there. Otherwise, I'm not looking at USA and Canada play over and over and over again.
It's the same two teams over and over.
So,
I know.
So I've given them a goal
Mhm.
that we have to make it to the finals. It mightn't be this year, but in the near future, we could be taking some baby steps, which is necessary, and then we will get to where we need to get to.
I know these two ladies are here, but who would be your two ideal or four ideal players to go on that circuit? That May to November
Putting
circuit.
Coach on the spot.
I'm still,
I know.
I'm still on this because I think it's such a great idea. If only we had the financial background.
Yeah,
but
because we have to look at probably.
Don't dodge my question. He's
Yeah,
dodging my question.
we have to
Yeah,
look
what?
at probably, to get to that level. I think we may have to look at supporting our
Mhm.
national athletes financially. It's a unique concept, and I think it could start. We just spoke about the community. It could probably start with employers giving the necessary time off for training, making it part of their social commitment to sport development in the country. Like you know how they give they think companies give money, which we appreciate. But sometimes time of the athlete is very, very, very important.
Definitely.
Without
Time with pay.
yeah, but just what I'm going to say
Yeah.
with sort of benefits that they're supposed to. So if I'm representing my country, Cayman Islands, and they're deducting my pay, that is something that is absolutely.
I'm not going to perform.
Yeah. I think it's absolutely
At my best, at
ridiculous.
least. Yeah.
You know, so I'm putting my 2 cents in, but employers need to support. You have an athlete who, could bring some sort of and the thing about athletes is that they are so disciplined. They work hard. They prioritize well and stuff like that. So they bring great benefits to any organization that they are part of.
Mhm.
Why not support that sort of human resource in your organization? It's always a fight to get the athletes time off to travel to represent Cayman Islands in Cayman Islands. So that's something they need to look at.
Okay. I'll ease you up now.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I'll go back to the ladies. Let's start with you, Luna. What would you say are some of the aspects of your game that has improved most while you were under Coach Trevor?
I would say my defense.
Okay.
So, like, when the other team is hitting the ball, so it's kind of easy to read the ball, I guess you could say. My service is better, I guess, because in the other, I would miss it, or, it would go out, or I'd put it in the net. But this tournament that we just had, it was, more consistent, so I think that's an improvement. I'm still working on my overhand setting. I will get to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you start playing volleyball?
Beach, maybe about 4 years ago. I stopped at the age of 11, maybe, and then I stopped, and then I got back.
Okay, awesome. What about you, Deidre? What part of your game have you seen improvement since you've been under Coach Trevor?
Well, Coach Trevor knows I would have never been on the beach, period, if he didn't ask me to come out. I thought
You're
I was
an indoor gal.
I was an indoor gal, and I remember the message very clearly. He just said, "Deidre, just come on the beach. I just want to see what you can do. Just do me a favor."
And he got stuck.
And then I got sent to a tournament 3 months later. So, I mean, in general, beach has improved because I was never going to be on the beach. But similar to Luna, I think for me, it's more that the game has slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started beach, it was just too much to comprehend. Coming from indoor where it's 6 people on the court at a time, it was a much different game. You have different movements. And then going to where it's 2 of you at a time. When we first started, not being able to deal with the sun and just the heat of Cayman, it was a lot to deal with at first. And like over the years, I feel like the game has slowed down to a point where I can now think more tactically and I can move away from, like I don't necessarily think if I'm going to get my serve in. Now it's moved to, am I going to be able to serve to this specific player that I need to serve to in the game? So the game has slowed down tremendously over the years. And I mean, it still has a way to go, but I think I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to try to get into coach's mind and think, what would coach want me to do in this?
Yeah, which is that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, especially when he can't coach you.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it on the sidelines and the back of the net. All right. Is there any six-a-side on beach?
Only probably recreational.
Just recreationally.
So there's also 4v4, four-person World Championship, but that hasn't really taken a lot of traction but the 2v2 game is more
prevalent now. All right. So how do you all both prepare mentally for intense matches when you're going in competitions like these?
For me, I just kind of like quiet down. I kind of isolate myself a little bit. Try to watch different games to see different. I like to watch like beach volleyball pros.
Okay.
And then kind of see how they play as well. See if I can get any little tips or tricks from them. And then just try to like encourage myself, because it can be a lot to go out there and play against people that are playing every day, getting paid to play. And so it's kind of just encourage myself, quiet myself down, try not to think too much about like, oh, these people are better than me type thing.
Yeah.
Just try to like focus on the things that I can control, think about how I can improve in this tournament, stuff like that.
Awesome. What excites you both most about playing the sport of volleyball?
I think it's like meeting new people. Like whenever I go, like you can ask coach, like we'll make friends with people, and like after games, like we'll have people come, like we'll play cards, and it's just like new experiences and like having new friends.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I love the competition. I've played sports since I was super young, and I think when I found volleyball, I found my sport. I love playing a partner sport, and beach is interesting because it's a team sport, but it's only one other person.
Yeah.
So you don't have to deal with too many other people. But
too many other divas.
Yeah, too many other divas. It's fun to compete, and it's fun to get better and see yourself getting better and feel yourself getting better. So it's fun every single tournament to feel like you walked away with a new skill. And it's also like interesting to see athletes like Luna, like every time Luna comes back from a competition, I can see that she's gotten better and she's gotten more competitive. So it's fun to just feel the growth and see the growth.
Can you imagine if you were going from May to November?
I know, the growth.
Yeah, the growth. Wow.
We'll reach that stage
soon. Yeah, most definitely. Okay, so give me a list. We're almost out of time. Give me a list of all the tournaments that are coming up.
Wow, so we have a lot of tournaments coming up. In Cayman Islands here, we are hosting the under-21 and under-18 World Championship qualifiers. So the under-21 is also the qualifying event for the under-18. So whoever wins the under-21 also goes to the under-18. We have an excellent chance. We are the number one ranked team.
Whoever wins the under-21.
Yeah, that's how Norseca did. That's another story for itself. So
your player for the under-21 had better be under-18.
They better win the under-21. That's what.
No, but they have to be under-21 to play to compete in the.
No, so what will happen is that the country qualifies.
Okay, so but you could choose.
So I could choose a different two players, which we have to do because in DR the World Championships for the under-18 is it starts the same time, almost the same time as the under-21. So we have to choose at least 4 teams.
Okay.
So which we will. We have players now who are particularly at that particular level to represent the country. Then
awesome.
We have the under-23 Nautica event here, also immediately following the under-21 tournament. So that is very important. The under-18 continental tournament in Dominican Republic is the qualification for the World Championships under 18 in Qatar.
Okay.
And then we have the under 21 almost a couple of weeks after in Mexico, right? And then Deidre and they are preparing for the World Championship final qualification tournament in Mexico in September. In between that, we have all the Norseca stops. Like we had a team that we were supposed to send to Honduras from the 26th to the 30th of June. We just did not register them on time.
Okay.
And so we are just waiting for to see if we get into that stop. That team, the boys are fun, are doing extremely well. The results may not reflect that because the competition at the boys level is insane. So I hope people will come to Public Beach from June the 20th for the under 23. Also because the teams that are coming, Costa Rica boys are very, very good. So we have from June the 20th to the 23rd, we have this tournament, the under 23 tournament. But before that, we have the Kosovo tournament starting on the 19th, the under 21. So we have a lot of beach volleyball. Right now, if you go to the Public Beach, you'll see some work being done to improve the courts and prepare for that particular event. So now we are training on the side courts, but we are getting our work done. So our objective is to qualify for the World Championships. I think beach volleyball, we have qualified for 2 World Championships in the last 2 years, the under 21 in Thailand and the under 19 in China.
Right.
So think about it. In
I'm
2.5 years.
going to start playing volleyball.
Yeah. In 2.5 years, we have made it to 2 World Championships, starting from nothing. Yeah. Starting. So that tells you about the mindset of the Caymanian players, how hard they're working, the level of effort they're putting out, and the successes are being generated from that actual work that they put in. So that you see the work, and you're also seeing the improvements. So, and then as Deidre said, I just love competition. I mean, like, but not only just to compete, I want to win while I'm competing.
Yes.
I want the players to feel what is success.
Yes.
And Luna, they have created a standard by when they qualify for the World Championships, and they have set the standard for themselves. So now, Deidre's always like, Coach, don't expect this. I'm like,
right.
Yes, my expectation is very high. We need to make it to the top 8. We need to make it to the top 6. So this year we have made it to 2 quarterfinals. Last year we made it to 1, I think. So we have already had a 50% increase right away. So the expectation now is we need to get to at least the quarterfinals in each event. So you never know what is going to happen, right? You still have to play the games. You have the opponent in front of you. So that's the fun part of competing to win, not just competing for competing's sake, to win. And in saying that, we love to see the improvement of the players at the same time, because you cannot function at a tactical level if you do not have the technical skill.
Gotcha.
You must have that technical skill.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
In order to compete against you, because if they are technically better than you, you have no chance.
Yeah.
So we can't even strategize to play against them. We just have to go and play.
Yeah.
But we are getting there, and I'm seeing it, and I'm excited about the next year. I just hope that we are able to get the necessary funding to send the teams out to events.
Well, awesome. I'm looking forward to Norseca and Kosovo coming up. I'll be out there watching you, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a very busy summer.
Yeah, it's going to be.
With sports, very busy. I was just listing out some things and I couldn't stop my pen. We have the Island Games coming up.
Yeah.
Anybody from volleyball?
Well, we are so focused on these young ladies qualifying also for the Youth Olympic Games in Senegal. That we have so much. We haven't even focused on the Island Games. Yeah, we haven't focused on that at all.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then there's also boxing coming up between now and August. There's boxing, there's tennis, there's squash, a regional squash tournament that's coming up, I think, weekend after next. Rugby next weekend. The basketball is heading to the 3x3 World Games, first time ever. That's going to be in Paraguay. You guys are competing in Norseca and Kosovo. That is huge. And powerlifting, I believe we have a powerlifting tournament that's going to be held here locally. So
shouldn't that excite the public?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's supposed to. We're supposed to have. And you keep tuned into our local sports. You can hear all about what's going on in the Cayman Islands with sports, and come out and support these athletes. These people are working hard. These children are working hard to represent you, to represent your country. So come out hard. Come out every single night for Norseka and the Kazova tournament. Under 23 Kazova.
Yeah, the under 23 is Norseka.
Is
and the
Norseka.
Under 21 is Kazova.
And under 21 is Kazova. Yeah, and watch these players perform and see what Coach Trevor is talking about, how they have improved tremendously over the last year or two. I've seen the growth, and I'm so proud of you all, and can't wait to see you all in action. All right. That's it. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's it for tonight's edition of Sports Extra. Of course, if you would like to be a part of our show, please feel free to email me at sportsextrakman@gmail.com. I'm your host, Dionne Anglin. Good night and God bless.
Sports Extra. From 7 to 8 p.m., highlights of local sports around the Cayman Islands. Sports Extra.
It's amazing to see the improvement of the team.
Sports Extra, keeping you informed.
Whether your group works in an office, a hotel, a hospital, or even on the beach, no matter where your group works or what it does, BAF has a health insurance plan for you. You can always count on BAF for affordable, flexible group and individual